Welcome once again. Join me today as I find a match. That line is not going to change anytime soon. Here I am, and I really thought that I was going to be in the roaming lane. I mean, no one was competing for it, so I was under the impression for a short time. So of course I asked them to ban Esmeralda, because I thought I could pit Johnson. But sometimes, reality is often disappointing. Just like I thought that everyone who watches these will subscribe, that is, if there is anyone. Then suddenly, S5 demanded to be in the roam lane.
What?
So what I'm gonna do about it? Of course, I'm not gonna fight for it. I mean, I'm flexible. So I choose peace, and indeed, it is a wise choice. Then, I select Uranus as my champion, since I am heading in the XP lane. So it means I need to change my battle spell to execution. At this point, I was waiting for Aldous to show up, but he was farming at the mid lane and sharing experience with his mage, so I avoid hitting my minions to control them, but only hit when necessary. Finally, he showed up, and my strategy here was to make sure he would not have the chance to stack up his first skill. Clearly, I failed. Then I kept spamming my first skill, because every stack increased my damage input to Aldous. Then finally I reached level 2. Here, he was so persistent in gaining stack. So I also stacked my first skill on him, until eventually it was too much, and put an expiration date with his name written all over it. At this point, Aldous was still striving to gain stack, and I won't let that happen. So I stacked him too, but his tank arrived. But so was my teammates, and I kept on stacking to Aldous, even though he eventually retreated inside their tower. But I don't care, even if he goes back in time. I will chase him to the ends of the earth, but I paid the price greatly. Then I was helping my teammates slaying the turtle. However, their mage was so annoying, and kept on spamming his first skill. So we chased him, and I helped deliver him to his ancestors. Then I saw Aldous stacking his first skill in bot lane, so I went there, with the intention of stopping him. But he made a wise choice by using his ultimate to go to other lane. Then Aldous arrived to defend his tower, and then hitting me with his first skill, then together with his tank that planned to assassinate me. So I backed off, but when I saw my teammates in the mini-map arriving, I eventually fought back, and I stacked so hard to their tank that he chose to leave the world of the living. That's just so sad. Then finally, I was able to purchase Oracle, which amplifies my passive ability, because my passive ability increased my health regeneration every time I receive a damage. So make sure, if you mess with someone, that you already have full stack of it. Then Aldous and Sicilian arrived. They tried to eliminate me so hard, but every time they damaged me, it only increases my passive, so I fought back. But then again, there's always a limit for everything, so I retreated inside my tower. And I thought I would cease to exist when Sicilian released his flame shot at me. Luckily, I survived, but Aldous used his ultimate at me. Fortunately, I still have my second skill, and then use it, gaining shield. Afterwards, I executed him with my first skill, sending him back to his ancestors. Then I pushed the enemy tower. At this point, my ultimate was off cooldown. My ultimate, when being used, it provides health, movement speed, and stack of my passive. Then I was peacefully pushing the tower again, using my basic attacks, and then suddenly, Aldous rushed himself, just to slaughter a minion, so I back off, because he then tried to eliminate me. Afterwards, his tank arrived, so I used my ultimate, and I kept on stacking to them. Unfortunately, the mage arrived, so I back off. Using my second skill, luckily though my support arrived, so together, we fought back, and I eliminated Aldous, because he wanted to be reunited with his ancestors. Then we tried to pursue them. However, they cowered back inside their tower. The tank immobilized us for a short moment. I might dive inside their tower, thinking it would work, but I was a fool. Afterwards, the jungler surprisingly arrived. I thought it was the end of my story. Fortunately, I was able to use my ultimate, and also my passive was at max. After that, my jungler arrived, diving inside their turret, and obliterated them in an instant. Then I noticed their tank low on health, confused inside their tower. Maybe he's still in shock, so I ended up as Misery, and then Aldous was left defending their tower. But it's got destroyed, and he suffered the same fate as his tower. Then I tried pushing through. However, their tower's ability to eliminate every minion's in sight. At this point, I let absorb the basic attacks of their marksman, so that I will be able to maintain my stacks. However, I sensed danger. Then their jungler tried to eliminate me, but eventually she ran away, afterwards the tank. And marksman engaged towards me, so I fought back, and then activated my ultimate. Then I strategically retreated from them. Then I noticed my jungler was coming to my aid. Then she placed a target to their marksman, and ending her miserable life. And then I focused my attention on the tank, putting an expiration date with his name written on it. If you have come this far, and if by any chance you did like this video, then don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button, followed by ringing the notification bell icon. Then I pushed into their bot lane, gaining their attention. While my teammates were busy eliminating the Lord, I managed to lure 3 heroes at once. Of course, I needed to maintain distance because they were getting stronger. At this point, I tried to engage against them in order to regain their attention, and it worked perfectly fine. Of course, to their marksman, an EXP lane, then finally my team managed to slay the Lord. Then they were trying to teleport back to their base inside the bush, so I stopped them. Luckily for their marksman, she managed to escape, but not for Aldous. He tried to ran to save himself, but we chased him, and then I executed him together with my team. Then while our Lord was busy pushing their mid lane, we segue into their bot, trying to destroy their tower. However, the enemy team arrived, so we needed to back away, and I absorbed most of the damage, and then we almost managed to eliminate their tank, but he retreated back inside their tower. At this point, we tried again in destroying their tower, but this time we only focused on their turret, and then we successfully accomplished our task. Subsequently, I tanked every damage that the enemies made, while engaging after them. Luckily though, Estes was able to heal me back to my normal state, and I fought back once again, but their mage was too much to handle. Then I managed to eliminate Aldous. Then our jungler wreaked havoc to their defenses, committing double kill, followed by eliminating Fanny, which resulted in triple kill. Then we focused our attention on their base, ending the game for good. Hey, if you managed to finish the video, then you have my gratitude, and much thanks to you. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and turn the notification bell. If you want to see more videos similar to this is Journalistic Gaming signing out.